the Bottom Line Podcast. I'm Jimmy Finizzi alongside Neil Villapiano. We hope you're doing well. As always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to listen to us. We really do appreciate it. Now, normally, Neil, this is where I would say, if you have any questions or opinions on anything we discuss in the world of sports, leave us opinions on Twitter, Anchor, you know the deal. But today, this episode is not about that because we've been trying to expand our platform for quite some time, and I'm really, really excited about today.
I mean, people can still ask questions. Doesn't have to be sports related. They can just ask us about anything.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right.
Everyone has an opinion, so I think it's fair to allow them to speak their minds.
That's true. But today's episode, we're really, really excited, and we're going to introduce our special guests, very special guests right now, whom you can see, obviously, if you were watching on YouTube. But we are going to get right into the swing of things because we're really, really excited to have these guys on to try and expand our platform here on the Bottom Line Podcast. So these guys, they are an original rock band from Erie, Pennsylvania that also does YouTube covers. They've been together since 2009, and they have 2 5-song EPs. Their single Thrill and 6 cover albums. They have played Van's Warped Tour and won the Tri-C High School Rock Off in 2015 and 2016. Guys, we are absolutely honored to have on Audra Miller, Sam Gilman, Matt Yost, and Ryan Krishak. First to 11. Guys, how the heck are you guys doing? Thank you so much for doing this.
We're good. Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
Believe me, it is our absolute pleasure. You
can just come with us, introduce us everywhere we go. That was so good.
I think Jimmy had to practice that at least 100 times before he started today. It's funny actually when Jimmy first talked to me about this, and I heard your guys' name. I have a lot of friends that go to Warped Tour like every year. So I said to a couple of my friends, hey, have you ever heard of these guys? And they're like, yo, you get to interview them? And I'm like, you guys know them?
Hey,
like,
there you go.
How big is Warped Tour? Like, I've never on it. I personally have never been.
Dude,
so
Warped Tour is like a huge, one of the biggest summer concert festivals of all time, in my opinion.
Well, once I noticed it was sponsored by Vans, I was a little skeptical. I'm more of a Jordan brand myself, but I can dabble into Vans if I mean, you would never catch me in Vans, but that's just me.
Well, I guess we're polar opposites because I only have 1 pair of Vans, but that's it. So if you ever see me wearing, what's that?
That's the way to go. 1 pair you wear all the time.
Thank you, Audra. At least somebody's with me on this. But anyway, without further ado, guys, let's jump right into it. So I guess the first question we have for you guys is, how did the name First to 11 come to about, and who came up with it?
Do you want me to take it?
we like rotate. We
answer
this question all the
answer.
time.
Yeah.
Rotate and pick who answers what question. Go ahead.
I feel like it's kind of my turn.
Go for it, Ryan.
When I was in high school, me and my friends, we played this game that we made up called volleyball. And it's essentially like, those big plastic Walmart balls that are in the
Yes.
You always want to jump into it. We buy those, and then we take it to a tennis court, and we kind of do like a volleyball sort of thing on a tennis court, but we play with like ping pong rules mixed in with volleyball rules mixed with tennis rules. And you can like hit it with any part of your body, and like the rules are really goofy and stuff. But we play that game and after practice, and we just kind of hang out, and that's like our band bonding kind of game. And the first 1 to 11, that's from volleyball, right?
It's in a lot of sports.
Yes.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, first 1 to 11 in the game wins, and you have to win by 2. But that's where the name came from. So first to 11 wins.
Pretty creative.
I was just that's very creative.
I personally could not come up with anything that creative. So
we always kind of said like when we had to come up with a new band name that it had to come like organically. You couldn't be like Scars of the Defeated or something like ridiculous like that. Because you just end up hating it later. And when we were playing that game a lot, we were like, oh, how can we take something from volleyball and use it as the name? And we were originally going to have it be the court that we play on, the lights turn off like automatically at 11 o'clock, and that was when we had to be done playing. So
right.
oh wow! Lights at 11, but then that sounded like we had a bedtime. So
So we were like, no.
Right. No, you gotta come up with something that flows, and I think that definitely flows. No question about it.
No,
I know,
yeah, it's very, very creative. I honestly wish Neil and I had that much of a creative brain, but that's beside the point.
I mean,
where did bottom line come
most
from?
creativity I have is for my own podcast. That's about the
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
You know, but I remember because my brother was in a band for a long time, and they started calling themselves What About Frank, which for a while didn't seem to make sense to a lot of people. So they changed it to Parlor Mob, and to this day I still don't know why it's called that or why it's called that. And when I asked my brother, he couldn't give me a definitive answer. So I'm glad you guys have a definitive reason behind the name. Because sometimes
Neil, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Neil. Does that band still exist?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
my brother,
exactly. There we go.
Well, to be fair, actually, you know what? I think that the band still exists, but my brother's no longer involved. Like he was.
Okay.
But, you know, it's the way the world works. But
That's all right.
actually, I have a question for you. How did you first hear about the band, and what was your feeling the first time you performed with them?
For who?
For Audra.
For Audra.
Oh, for me? Okay, so this is actually a funny story. So I actually saw them performing at like this fall festival that we have in Erie with another singer.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I want to be in a band. So I ended up talking to Ryan and like signing up for the rock school. And right around the time that I signed up, the singer that I saw them with had actually just left the band. And it was like perfect timing. So then I went into this band, and that's how we met.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. And what was your feeling the first time you performed with them? Like how did that whole experience go? I guess.
This is such a funny. Okay.
Oh God.
So I was so terrified to perform for the first time.
Right.
But funny story, they were like, oh, we got to like learn these songs and stuff. And I was like, okay, guys, I got it. Like, I'll be ready. And I learned the wrong song. So I'm sitting in the car before the show just crying, so nervous. I learned the wrong song, and I just like got up on stage and I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I guess we're just gonna do it. So I ended up singing that song just like holding like a piece of paper with like the lyrics in front of me.
Oh, okay.
And I was so terrified, but we got through it. We did it, and it was great.
You know what? You gotta start somewhere. I think you always need to start somewhere, and usually it comes with a entertaining story like that. And that's a pretty relative story there. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it'll haunt me forever.
That's all right. Hey, you know what? Anything to get started. That's all I gotta say. Now, Ryan, another question for you, because you've been with the band since the very beginning. Like I said, you guys were formed in 2009, I believe, under a different name. I think it was M4, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yes.
Now, do you want to like explain like what that actually meant and how that all originated?
Well, when they originally started the band, there was 5 kids, and actually Matt was the only one in the original kind of lineup of it. Right. And it was you were 8, 9, 10 years old at the time. So they were trying to come up with a name themselves, because I try not to like name any of the bands like personally, like myself, because they'll end up with those names like Scars of the Destructed or whatever I said earlier. But like so it was like, how can we come up with an organic name? And at the time the kids were just really excited about mini men making music, because they were so little. So it was 4 M's, M4, and that was the name of the band. But the reason that name didn't continue on was that we tried to get it trademarked, and someone already had it trademarked. There was a dubstep artist called M4 Sonic.
Oh,
and he had it like trademark, even though his was M4 Sonic, he had merchandise that just said M4 on it.
Oh, okay.
So we needed to get permission from him. But instead, they were just kind of like, all right, why don't we just change our name? But then we actually met him on Warped Tour after we had already changed our name. And then he was just like, yeah, go ahead, use it. I'm not going to sue you.
It's like,
Oh
well,
my
it's
God.
Oh,
kinda-
the irony.
Too late. It's
like,
too
it's kind of
late.
too late for that. You could have a couple of months ago.
Oh my goodness. But Ryan, I guess that kind of leads me to my follow-up question here is that what have you learned most during your time with the band?
Oh man, I mean, I've been working with them, from the very beginning. So I'd never put together a band full of kids before. They were like my first, experiment into that. And then that turned into me having my own business where I do this, for a number of other kids. We've probably had, 10 to 15 different bands come through the rock school and all have like their own successes in a lot of different ways. Sam was in one of the other bands from the rock school, and when they needed a drummer in this band, he just moved over. So I mean, we've really kind of created like a small community of kids that just really take music seriously. And I think the biggest thing to learn is just to like how to cultivate that, how to weed out the ones that want to do it as like a hobby, like soccer practice, and they'd go and they have fun and then they just go home. And then finding the ones like these guys that are like, no, I want to do this as like a career for the rest of my life. And being there as a support system for them too, because a lot of the other programs that exist, I mean, they're kind of like not a program band anymore. They've definitely turned into like a fully legitimate thing. But, finding a program that actually pushes you beyond that soccer practicey kind of thing, where, a lot of other music schools or programs, they'll just kind of be like, all right, you did your performance. That was awesome. Good job. Now here's your new band, or here's a new set of songs to learn. And with ours, we're just kind of like, all right, well, you've accomplished this. You've put out an album. Now let's go play shows on that album. Let's design merch off that album. Let's, promote that album. Let's do all these things that a real band does. So it's not like a parody of rock and roll like a lot of other things are. Like we try and make it as authentic as it possibly can be.
Wow. I really like that answer. Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is a question that I usually like asking bands in general, and it doesn't really matter what music they play. I just kind of like asking it. What goes into the decision, I guess, to play a certain type of genre of music? I've always been fascinated with, whether you're a rock band or, whatever the case may be, like what goes into the decision making about, us playing a certain type of genre of music?
I think the key for us is that like we don't pick a certain genre of music, and I think that's what's the most fun for us is that like for our covers we just do like everything across the board. We'll do like a Katy Perry and a Metallica song next week, you know what I mean? Like we're really like just all over the place. But the fun thing is like with newer songs or songs we want to recreate and kind of reimagine that aren't just like kind of straight down the middle covers, we can do whatever genre we want. So we can sometimes we like me and Sam predominantly listen to like heavier stuff. Audja listens to more top 40 and like singer songwritery stuff, and Ryan just listens to just about everything, and he plays in a country band and we make fun of him for that. So everybody just brings so many different like genres that they listen to and prefer to the table, and it's just that collaborative effort of like, okay, we're gonna make this song into something new. And everyone's like, let's put this part on it. Okay, so it leans a little more towards rock. And then Audrey sings over it, and that instantly shoves it back into like not seeming as heavy as it is.
As it is.
Which is like me and Sam's favorite part, because we can make a song as heavy as we want.
But
as long as Audrey's singing it, no one's going to be like, that's a death metal band. You know what I mean? So there's like a lot of like different things you can kind of mismatch, and it just kind of works itself out. And I think we kind of try it every week to almost do a different genre. We try to kind of get across the whole board, because obviously with YouTube, with music, you're trying to throw the widest net you can.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're not going to do like pop, 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 rock, 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 only that. We're going to switch it up. We're going to turn some pop songs into rock songs. We're going to turn some rock songs into like alternative songs. We're going to turn some electronic songs into, full band arrangements. So it's just really fun being able to not have a definitive answer for that question, because we don't pick a genre. We're just like, what do we want to do this week?
What do we want to do today?
Right. So, okay, cool. I like that. I guess the next question I ask, because again, I've never been to this event, so I can't say that I understand it completely, but talk to us a little bit about, the band's Warped Tour and like what your experience was performing there.
So
we
had been going to Warped Tour for like 3 or 4 years before that. Okay. And that was like our Super Bowl moment. We're walking in and we're like,
oh my gosh, Warped Tour.
Because we got to play Warped Tour, obviously you're going to load in So the whole
Oh
like
yeah.
Warped Tour is just like a whole, just like they find places and like empty parking lots and just set up like 8 stages.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Play in that
crazy
place.
amounts of like
That's
bands.
what I've heard.
and-
They have like what 10, 11 stages or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
like 50 to like 60 bands that
And
like
you
come
just walk
play.
around, right? Like people
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
walk around, and
It's
that's
awesome.
actually
And
cool.
obviously you're
It's
used
so
to
fun.
walking around with, you know, the thousands and thousands of people that are there with you. But
There
we
to
got
watch.
to load in and we're loaded in and we're like, oh, that's so and so from that band. And we're like, oh, and that's where the bands eat breakfast. And like we're like geeking out.
We were
because,
so
like,
excited.
So you guys were more like fans than really anything else. Like you guys were like,
Yes.
oh wow, we're actually a part of this.
No
Yeah.
issues with that.
honestly,
Yeah.
like it was also just about getting a mindset of like it's not any different than any other show. Like
Yeah.
setting up
Yeah.
it's just on another level. Like
Right.
we do that. It's a sound check, but it's just like with like professionals. You know what I mean? It's just
Right.
like, kind of next level performing. The most nerve-wracking thing for me, at least, was Ryan's like, "Hey, you're gonna make sure people come to this like come to this stage.
Make
right?"
sure
I'm
they
like,
come at your
I was like,
time
"Oh wait, yeah,
and
you're right. I have to go like."
talk
You
to
have to
people.
go like, yeah, you have to go pick yourself out like all the other bands do. They have people with like signs or
Signs
like,
and-
hey, come see our band at 6:15.
Handing out CDs
And
and
Right.
talking
Right.
to
So I'm just
people.
like, so how are we gonna do that? And he's like, you gonna pay someone to do it, Matt? And I'm like, no. And he's like, then you're gonna do it. I'm like,
we
so
were
I'm,
so
like,
scared.
walking around for like 20 minutes, trying to loosen up and be like,
Hey guys,
Please listen to my band.
please,
Come
please
see
come
us.
to our.
Right, come listen to us. I like that. No, I mean, look, you gotta find a way to make noise, and I like that. And what I also like is again, it's always tough, and you know, Jimmy's gonna hate me for doing this, but I'll use like a sports like related thing. It's like
No, go ahead.
when you're in the Super Bowl, you have to try to treat it like it's another it's another game, and it's not. It's just that much bigger, and so I can see what you guys meant. Like you have to find a way to somehow treat it like it's another concert that you're in, but in reality, it's like no, this is like a big thing that a lot of people go to, because I know a lot of people from New Jersey that go to it, but I also know that there are thousands of people from other places around the country that come to the Warped Tour and experience it. And
Yeah, no, yeah,
it's like a crazy experience.
yeah. I was gonna say it's pretty big all over the country. Not just I know New
Yeah.
Jersey's like one of the hot spots for Warped Tour, but
Yeah.
it's huge all around the country.
Well,
now,
that's why for a lot of people,
go ahead, I'm
going
sorry.
to Jersey they like going to Jersey for Warped Tour. I guess because the weather. I'm assuming. I don't really know.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
usually during the
that's
hot,
part of it.
Yeah.
Although when I went to the supposed last one before they announced the 25th anniversary one, it was scorching hot. Like I could barely stand outside for 5 minutes. That's how hot it was.
Yeah.
I was like 90. What was it? 98 degrees, and I'm like, how is anybody not going to pass out? Like,
I thought, honest to God, I thought it was gonna hit 110 degrees. That's how hot it was.
and that was at PNC, right?
Yes, it was.
That was the PNC, right? I've only been to PNC once, and I saw One Republic.
Oh,
That was
nice.
That was the only experience other than going to a mass, which I never want to do again. I never want to do that again.
Come on, man.
The
Now
worst idea ever come up with. I'm sorry. Like I'm Catholic, and even I know that was bad.
it's fine. It's fine. Now,
In 20-degree weather, I might add as well. Like, that
oh
was
my
a
goodness
idea.
gracious.
Genius.
That's terrible. Now, my one other question about Warped Tour is when you guys performed, did you open for any particular band?
So
No.
how Warped Tour works is like there's the 8 stages, and there's really no openers or closers. Obviously, if you're a bigger band,
You
you're
play at
gonna
the
have
end.
the
Right.
latest spot. But unless you're like the top, 5 to 10 bands on the tour, you could be anywhere. They just do like a
Anytime.
random drawing each morning for each stage.
Mhm.
So everybody has a stage that they're on, and then in the morning everybody gets together and they just pull times. So they're like, and I literally mean like they'll just go around with a hat to like bands like tents, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
Put your
Or
hand
pick
in-
your time.
Yeah, wait, you put your hand in and see what lucky number you get.
Yes,
exactly.
yeah.
the next
Oh,
day,
let's see, 3:30. Sick.
We actually,
We got
we
such a
actually
good
got
time.
a pretty like
Pretty
later
late spot.
time,
Yeah.
and we got lucky as in we weren't like overlapping with like humongous bands.
Crazy
Yeah.
bands.
So we like
yeah.
we were like, oh, sick, people won't really be over at this tent. We can get people.
We
over
can
at this
bring them
stage.
to ours.
Right.
Yeah.
You can keep them. You can keep them where they
Right.
should. Be.
everybody played at like the same time on like a little bit staggered of a schedule.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you just pick kind of random times and then play whatever time you get, and it changes every single day.
But
Yeah.
we were like super nerdy about it. Like because it was the first time we ever did it. And we had like went to the Warped Tour a bunch of times, and like you were saying, you have to know that it's gonna be hot and like what to wear and bring sunscreen and bring like
Yeah.
a water bottle.
Mm.
And, like there's like first time campers that are like, I'm gonna wear my makeup, and then by the end of the day they like all freaking like melted off in their face, and it's like, oh,
You have to mentally prepare.
but like we had never played before, so it was our first time, and we like showed up like, I don't know, like 7:30 in the morning, like with all our
Ready.
gear, and we were like, all right, we're ready to go. And everyone was like still setting up the stages, and they were like, get out of our way. But like,
Oh my
we
God.
didn't know like when we were supposed to be there. Everyone was just like, make sure you're there early in case you draw an early time slot. So we were
Right.
there, like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, like ready
Yeah.
to play with all our equipment, and we didn't play until like
5. It was
something.
5.
Right.
Oh wow. Jeez.
Now, usually, if I'm not mistaken, they usually have a band that I would say is probably well known throughout the country. At
Yeah.
least one from what was the biggest, I guess, like, or most well-known band that was there at any of the times you've been at Warped Tour?
I mean, Black Veil Brides was probably one of the bigger.
Oh my God. I love them.
Eris,
was-
Pierce
yeah.
the Veil.
Okay, cool.
Tonight Alive.
Tonight
the
Alive.
Plain White Tees.
Plain
run
White
one year.
Tees,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I would imagine they probably had some big crowds. I would imagine they probably were there for.
But no. Speaking of, we're talking to First 11 here on the Bottom Line podcast. By the way, you guys won the Tri-C High School Rock Off back-to-back years. Like I said, 2015 and 2016. What was that whole experience like for you guys, given the fact that it was held in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I can give you my experience on that.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam's got a different experience than the
Yeah. So
Oh God.
I've been playing in another rock school band for some amount of years, and First to 11 was like, they were like kind of like they were D1 at the rock school, and I was like right below them, like right on their heels with like getting stuff done. And so we both go to play the rock off, and the first year, like, we did okay, we did decently. First to 11 like killed it. I was actually not even in the band at the time, I should clarify. I was just friends with them, and I liked hanging out with them. They won. I was like, okay, great. Next year, I'm gonna step it up. Like, I see what they did, and I drew from like the best like musicians I could find to come help me and like pick the best songs and like worked really hard and whatever. And then like I just remember like we finished second out of next to First to 11 the next year by like 2 points out of like
Oh
200.
wow.
And I remember just like standing on the stage like right next to them, just being like, "Oh my God, you guys!" Like, and then it's so funny because
How could I lose to you?
I ended up
Have
like
that one.
joining later, and my Warped Tour experience when they played was I was like, "Have fun, guys! Like, I'm gonna go watch it 4 years strong. Like, hope you kill it. Like, I don't
Wow.
want anything to do with this."
But the funny thing
Sam
is,
got shafted like super hard because the top 3 bands that won the Rock Off got to go play the Warped Tour.
Okay.
Oh wow.
They were so good in the Rock Off, like so many Erie bands were just like crushing all of the other bands that the people that put us on the Warped Tour were like, yeah, only one of you guys can go. So Sam
Oh wow.
his band
With
with
his
us,
band, yeah.
but they were like, yeah, only one Erie band. And then we were like, oh, okay. And then the subsequent like years after that were like, it was like, okay, definitely First to 11 shouldn't win again. They can't win 3 years in a row. And then like his band totally should have won the next year, but I think everyone was starting to get upset. Like the Erie bands keep just killing us. We just can't keep letting the Erie bands win. So
Right.
then the next couple years, First to 11 was the first year that they won. It was the first year that they were eligible.
Mhm.
So it was the
Right.
first year that they even had kids in high school. So Matt and Audra
I
weren't
wa-
even
yeah,
in
we
high school.
weren't
They were
even
in
in
8th
high
grade.
school.
So it was the first year that they could potentially win, and then they had like 3 more years that they could win after that, but like didn't even make the finals because they were like,
Ooh.
you guys need to just
they
chill.
started just making rules like against us.
Okay, so basically, they became the Golden State Warriors for a while. It was
Oh
just
my God.
someone else win. Like
I
nothing.
was banned bands.
Yeah.
All right. Only one rule. Let somebody else win, please.
Yeah.
We like, tried to manipulate it too, so we just had Matt playing like all the other
A
rock
different
school bands
band.
too.
Right. Just go in as a different band name. They can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I like
got
that.
technically first and second place. And
Yeah.
I was in both bands, and the next year they're like, you can't be in two bands.
Oh
You can't
wow.
be
It's not right.
first and second, because I was like standing on stage, and they're like, the winner is first to 11. I just like scooched over.
Let me just hop over here.
That would be me.
All right.
That would 100% be me. Now, here's my other question to you: who has been your guys' biggest inspiration throughout your 11-year music journey?
That's a good question.
That's
I think it's
such a hard
changed.
question.
We bounce around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've definitely looked up to Paris. We saw Paris
Paris
on
is cool.
like their first Warped Tour when they were playing like a tiny stage.
They're
And
in
we were there to
Boston.
see like another band, Courage My Love. We were like there to watch them, but Paris played right before them and just blew them out of the water. We were so like impressed by, this band that we had never heard of before. And we were like, that's what we need to be is like them. And Tonight Alive is another one that's like that. Like everything they do is so good.
Yeah.
I think Bring Me the Horizon maybe
True,
too is
yeah.
a big one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think they've kind of like mastered how to like still have like heavy amped guitars and like live drums, but also like millions of people who I never in a million years would I thought would have been able to be exposed to them and really like them.
Yeah.
They know their lyrics like the back of their hand now, and it's kind of amazing to see. But then I also think that there's like a whole YouTube like just sect of inspiration where when we were getting started, like people that again we were like, we need to do our videos like these guys, we need to arrange our covers and put out videos like these guys. Now we do like collaborations with them, and it's I don't know, YouTube just has a funny way of a lot of people, like everybody kind of knows
Knows everybody on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Go to a YouTube convention, you just know everybody there. It's like lifelong friends.
Yeah, speaking of lifelong friends and speaking of YouTube, tell us a little bit more about your relationship with Halocene, Violet Orlandi, and Lauren Babbitt. I know you guys are really good friends with them.
Yeah, I mean, our first like collab that we ever did was with Addie from Halocene, and she actually like flew to Erie and like just like came to the studio, and we were like, this is like so crazy. And then ever since then, like we've obviously like been doing collabs with them, and we met Lauren there, and then when we were in California at the beginning of the year, we went to NAMM, which is just like this like music kind of convention where you go. But we saw Lauren there, and we like hung out with her while we were in LA, and then we met Violet through both of them too, and we ended up doing our Queen collabs with them. But they're just like the nicest people. They're so easy to work with, and like we just always want to do stuff with them.
And it just makes sense to work with them.
Yeah.
It's like, what is better than one girl singer?
Four girls.
And we're like, we gotta do these collabs.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, if you didn't listen to their Queen collabs yet, they are fantastic. I would highly suggest you check it out, and check out the rest of their covers as well. I just personally, I've been listening to you guys for, what's it been, like 3 years now? I've been following you since 2017. So you guys are honestly, I know you're not local, like from around like New Jersey, but as far as like local-ish bands go, you might be one of the best ones I've ever heard.
Wow.
And I really, really mean
It is
that.
driving distance, yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest to say that I feel really old because I listen to a lot of music from like the 1950s and 60s. So like, just learning right now is just like a very interesting experience for me personally, because I'm not the biggest music person. I'm actually more of a sports person, as you could probably tell. But no, this has been, yeah. Well, I mean, he's had to teach me so much just for me to act like I know what I'm talking about. But no, I'm enjoying this because like a lot of these names and just hearing these experiences, it kind of like it kind of brings back memories when I was younger of, you know, when my brother was in his band, you know, kind of doing similar type things. And I don't think Warped Tour existed when my brother was performing. It could be wrong. I don't know how long ago he performed with them.
Like 99 or something like
Yeah.
that, 2000.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I mean, they were known. They were in video games. I mean, that was probably the high point for them, is that their music was in video games. But other than that, I couldn't.
That's a really
What?
high
That's
point.
so
that's
cool.
really
Yeah.
high.
But it wasn't like any video game that people be like, oh yeah, everybody plays it. It was like a baseball video game. It wasn't
It
like
wasn't like Skate 3 or something.
no, yeah, Tony Hawk. It wasn't like Tony Hawk Skate Pro or anything like. It wasn't like that. I think that would have been like the pinnacle, because I've always said, like, if you're a rock band and you get your music in like Tony Hawk or like something like that, I feel like you really reached like the main point. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't say that there's like a skill involved with that. It's just like that's someone coming from high and just being like, boom, here is a success story.
Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow,
You don't
but
have
this
a
is
choice but to listen to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just in the game, so it's just pounded into your brain. And if you hear something enough, you can start to appreciate how good it is. Just like
exactly.
listening to Taylor Swift stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've always known that, like, I've talked to people, you know, that play video games, and they're like, sometimes they forget about the game, they just remember the soundtrack.
Oh
Like
my
I've
God.
had people that post stuff on YouTube, like, in case anybody didn't remember, here was the soundtrack from this.
Yeah,
And then people are like, oh, that's who was performing that? Oh,
Yeah.
they don't remember the name of the game, they just remember the soundtrack. Or like they never played the video game. It was just, oh, this was the soundtrack, which was fire.
Or Neil, there's this. The video game itself may be absolute trash, but the music's fantastic. And that's all they remember it for.
So you're
That's
talking about, so you're basically talking about the Madden series. Like that's what you're going for?
Really? Really?
The music is fire. It's
Oh
like,
my
no, I mean that's pretty much what you said, but
There's
God.
actually a video game. I guess so. I also don't even. Maybe Matt should even take this because I've never played the game. But the soundtrack to this game called Doom is so
Oh, yeah.
that I know the entire soundtrack. I've never once played this game, but like I know the
soundtrack.
who did the production. I knew like what samples they used and whatever. And yeah, I agree completely. I also follow all the Spotify like Skate 3 soundtrack, like Burnout 2 soundtrack. Like I follow all of those.
What I'm talking
so.
about. Like you never played the game, but I remember, like, but I know the soundtrack very well. It's like this, you know, nostalgia that you get from like listening to it. It's like, especially if you're like a 2000s kid or like a late 90s kid. It's like, oh yeah, I remember the music from, you know, all the Tony Hawk games. Or like I first learned music from playing Lego Rock Band for like a couple
So good.
I didn't know who, like,
That's fantastic.
oh yeah, like I didn't know who Good Charlotte was until I listened to Lego Rock Band. Like that's
Really?
that's how I learned about it. Everybody's like,
Wow.
"It took you that long?" I'm like, I know sports. I'm not good with music. Don't try me.
Oh my God. But now, since we're on this subject, that leads me into my next question.
Is it about Lego Rock Band? Is that why you? Is it a
I
Lego Rock
wish,
Band?
but no.
I may know the answer.
I wish, but no. Favorite video game of all time? What is it?
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh. Well, I mean,
Everybody has one that's gonna be like really
Putting Matt on the spot like that. I love it.
This is the best
it's
question
definitely
for
like
Matt.
of all time with Smash Brothers. All the Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Are
Yes.
N64
Yes.
amazing. GameCube probably my favorite. The Wii.
Thank
still
you.
Good. People hate on it. The Wii one is still good. It's still like it's bad for the series. It's great compared to everything else out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Season 2 are just great. But I actually have a story a lot like Neil, as in like I started playing guitar because of Guitar Hero 3. So I was
Hey,
just
all right.
I was just a little 7-year-old playing Guitar Hero 3, and I'm like, I gotta play real guitar. My parents told me no. So then I was like, kept playing, and eventually I started taking lessons, and we're here now.
I gotcha.
I had the same experience because I used to have the drum set. So like I had the big drum set from Lego Rock Band that I would do. And that's how I ended up deciding like, oh, I want to play drums because it's, you know, and I thought I was good because I was playing Lego Rock Band. Like I thought I was great at playing drums until I had my first lesson. I'm like, yo, I really suck at this. I need a lot of time to learn. I need a lot of time. Jimmy, what's your favorite like video game? I want to know. Like I've never asked. I want to know. Like what's yours?
You're really gonna make me pick? Really?
I know the answer. I feel like it's gonna be something that I wouldn't
No,
expect.
dude, I could come up with a top 10 if I could, but that's not the episode for this.
Well,
But
yeah, I was gonna say, we'll make an
if
episode
I
another
if
time.
I had to pick one, if I had to pick one right now, it would have to be Mario Kart 64.
Oh.
Damn.
That
See, I'm
that
different.
game first got me into video games. Like it was that game for me as a little kid. It was that game and everything else. I played no other game but that as a little kid. But then I eventually grew into other Mario Kart games in the series. I grew into other Mario games and Sonic games, all that type of stuff. But if you're asking me right now, that's the game.
I guess. Oh wow. Like, I think I'm a little bit more recent. My favorite all time is Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort.
Oh my
And
god.
it has- no, and here's the thing: it has nothing to do with the game. It has to, and you know where I'm going with this. Every single music that they put in Wii it gives me so much nostalgia. You have no idea.
That's true. That's true.
That's true.
I wanted to make it my ringtone. I want the intro to be my ringtone.
I was about to say that opening that.
I like
Yeah.
It's like.
Or like the I think it's like the me intro. It's like dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god.
Somebody
Yeah.
put a remix like a year ago, and I was crying laughing because it was so good.
I listened to that. It's fantastic.
You guys should do a cover for the Wii. The Wii. You guys should make one like that.
You know what I think we should do actually instead? We do like live streams before our videos now every Thursday, and
Right.
Matt and we're kind of interested in like the history of the Wii Sports golf, like the
Yes.
Oh my
runs,
god.
people who do the whole course in like a couple minutes. Like it's crazy. Like we know all the techniques. Like you have to like go left for like the par 3 on hole 8. Like you're gonna get a random number generator for where the
They
pins.
mastered the game.
Yeah. So I think our next
Mastered the
is gonna
game.
be like
Just do
playing Wii
that.
Sports golf and just see how we can do.
I think like I've always like said like I've watched people play the game like on YouTube and I always laugh because like they want to try to get the highest score you could possibly get and like become a pro, and I'm like I feel like that's such a major accomplishment to be a pro like golf.
If you accomplish anything in Wii Sports, you accomplish life.
God, right.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's have a little more fun here. So, who is the funniest member of the band?
On purpose?
On accident, on purpose, in any direction you want to go.
No, Jimmy, forget accident. I want to know on purpose. That's the one. That's the
Oh
one.
my god.
I laugh the most at what Ryan says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I had a feeling it was Ryan. I feel like you guys are gonna point at Ryan. I just had a hunch of that. I don't know why.
What the heck? I was gonna say, is there something you're trying to say here, Neil? Like, what's going on here?
Why are you bringing that? Don't take that out of context. What are you doing? Hold on a minute. Wait, what are you doing, Jimmy? What are you trying to pull here? Are you trying to expose me for like the umpteenth time?
Well, we did expose you once for being a fraudulent sports fan, but we're not gonna get into that again.
I don't need to hear this today. You know what? I'll kick your ass in every Wii Sports game there is. Bring it on.
Yeah, all right. I'll play along. But anyway.
Mario
Oh my
Kart 8
goodness.
Deluxe, you got nothing on me. Kill you.
Whatever. Anyway, next question. Favorite food of all time? What is it?
As a band,
As a band and individually.
Random.
As a band, chicken wings. Yeah, that's actually good.
individual. Audra eats pasta every day of
Seafood.
her
It's
life.
seafood though.
All right.
That would
Okay.
be my
Great.
favorite food.
Moves from pasta to seafood.
Yeah, because I can just like pasta's like that I'll eat at any time, but like my favorite thing to eat is
Doesn't.
No, special occasion seafood.
Yeah.
Every day.
everyday pasta.
Yes.
You ever have a situation where it's seafood and pasta together?
Yes, the best day of my life.
There is absolutely no shame in that whatsoever.
There you go.
Like, dude, look, dude, I'll this isn't an everyday thing for me, but I'll have like shrimp parmesan, shrimp marinara, like something with salmon. It's like, oh my god, it's fantastic.
Who the heck calls it shrimp marinara? You're the first person I've ever heard say it like that.
Have you seen an Italian restaurant menu?
Okay, first of all, stop talking about Olive Garden because it's not you are full of it. If you think that Olive Garden is Italian, you are smoking some really.
Did I
really
say
good
Olive
stuff.
Garden?
Like,
No.
We just referenced it though.
Olive Garden is like
Do you see what I have to put up with on a daily basis? Oh my goodness!
Like
But
an old married couple.
I don't know how we put up with each other for the past like what 5-6 years now, Neil.
It's been longer than that, probably.
Yeah. What?
I don't even know anymore. I see your face way too much for my health. I see your face.
Just a little bit.
All right,
Anyway,
cool.
all right. So, in your guys' opinion, what is the one song that was the most fun to cover?
Thrill.
I like doing either the Christmas covers that we do because we usually get to go do fun videos for those. Like we'll have like a new location, or we'll just like dress up and make the studio look nice. Or honestly, I had probably the most fun when we got to go out to LA and do a collab with another YouTuber named Kurt Schneider. I don't know. I think that honestly wasn't so much even about like the songs we did or the. I mean, the videos look beautiful,
Just
of
like
course,
the
but
experience.
the experience of actually working with someone who's so seasoned and just knew everything about everything, that was probably my favorite.
I think my favorite cover that we actually like shot was when we did the zombie one, because we got to get like, all of our zombie makeup done. That was just
one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, I love that one. But like getting like the makeup done and then like doing because that was right when we got our lights too, like when we first got the new lights. So we just made it like purple and like green, like the whole room was just so dark.
Along the same lines as Audrey, I think my favorite was the Over the Rainbow.
Oh,
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Just as the Wizard.
Yes.
And we made that song go way harder than it ever deserved.
That was so
That
fun.
song slammed.
All the holiday ones, like
Yeah,
the holiday ones
really
are so
fun.
fun.
See, this is why they need to do a cover of the Wii Sports music, because I feel like they would turn it into
I'll
something
do it. Let's do it.
better than. Oh, I feel like they would turn it into something that's better than it actually is right now.
No, they would. They would.
It would just slap a lot.
And by the way, speaking of Over the Rainbow, if we could have a petition to have you guys dress up as the Wizard of Oz characters every Halloween for a cover, I'd be all in for it.
We
I'd
kept
do
them.
it.
I
We
think
do. We
we
have
I
that.
just moved them to my storage unit, and I was like, "Should I throw these out?" And I was like, "No, I'll keep
No.
them."
And it's-
You never know when you'll need it again.
Absolutely. Now let's spin this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said it was too perfect. The four of us, we
Yeah.
just fit those characters like
So
really,
good.
really well.
Absolutely. Now let's spin this a little bit here. Hardest song you guys have ever covered?
This is easy for me. Mine was Praying by Kesha.
Oh
That
goodness.
song, I sang that when I was sick, and I was like, this is the worst thing. I still like can't listen to that cover.
Oh no.
I hate listening to it.
I don't want to answer for Ryan, but I think yours was probably the Queen cover we did on our channel.
That
Oh,
was
like
so-
Somebody to Love? Really?
Part was definitely really
Because
hard.
that bass part, there's nothing repeats in that song.
I
Ever.
know.
Those are,
Well, that's the
true.
thing
That's
about
true.
Queen. Queen never repeats itself. They always just continue with other things. I feel like the hardest.
That's what makes them so great, though.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I've always said like the hardest song.
not great to cover.
Right. The hardest song to like learn and like try to cover is probably like Bohemian Rhapsody, just because it's just so
Oh
out there.
goodness.
I mean, that's my
That was
personal opinion. But
Thankfully, we didn't have to.
We
do
didn't
all
have
the
to
work
do
on
that one,
one.
I think my
I would
hardest song
say-
cover was one that we did recently, Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's like, want to do a 2-minute guitar solo at the end and memorize the whole thing? And I was like, not really.
No.
Kind of not
But-
fair.
nope.
Oh my god. I know that I mentioned before that you guys have 2 5-song original song EPs. Do you guys have any other plans to release original music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
We actually just got back from Arizona. We were there for a month recording new original songs.
Hey, all right.
I can never
There we
judge
go.
like, we're like allowed to.
I know
Like-
what we're allowed
can
to
do whatever
say,
we
but
want.
we're not.
I think
I was gonna say, it sounded like you guys like kind of want to say it, but you want to back. Like I get where I was like, all right, I know where this is going. Like I think I know what's going on.
right now
Like,
is
I
that-
was
By the way, sorry, Neil, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I was talking to Jimmy, and I'm like, maybe that's one of the questions you should like back off on, because maybe they have something that they can't. Just
right now,
yeah.
because of like COVID going
Yeah.
on, and no one really wants to put out music.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
So
if-
that's the only part that's hard is like we
So,
don't know when it's gonna
we
come
could
out
be
or
like-
like.
we-
Right.
originals, and it could be like a
A
year
year.
and a half till
Yeah.
we like actually release it.
Yeah.
I know that, yeah. I mean,
By the
like,
way, speaking of Arizona, whose bright idea was it to try and cook an egg in the street? I just want to know.
Yeah.
Who came up with that
Someone else
idea.
did it.
It was our producer actually. Like they are from Arizona. They've lived there
Okay.
their whole lives, and they were like, guys, you have to try and cook it. But Matt like wanted to eat it, so we were like, let's try and cook it in a pan. And they were like, no, you can't cook in a pan. Like you have to put it on the road. And we were like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
No,
No, it's funny. It's funny because I actually watched that. I saw you guys put like Pam in like the Pam in like the pan. I was like, that actually is doing something. The egg in the street is like, what are you doing?
Are you that
The
surprised? No,
street
but Jimmy,
egg
are
was
you
not
that
doing too
surprised?
good.
Wait, what, Neil?
Are you that surprised? You
I mean,
realize that it's a
I'm
trend?
not. I was just
Wait, hold on.
curious
Are you
whose
aware of the
idea
fact that
was.
that what they did is a trend? A lot of people do that. I've you ever
It
seen
took way
Austin?
longer than we thought. But
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it's actually quite incredible because I remember one time I flew into Phoenix and I could see from inside the airport like how hot it was because it was like 110 the day I was
Ugh.
there. And I remember I went on my phone and I went through like, I guess like with Instagram, you could go to like certain places in the country and see like stories that people put.
Yeah.
There was at least 5 stories where it was somebody trying to cook an egg on the ground. That is incredible. That is incredible.
I mean, could you imagine trying to do that here in Jersey, considering the fact the heat wave that we had recently?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. Dude, we created Jersey Shore. We could do anything. We can literally do anything.
Fair enough.
And we'll fine.
Fair enough. Now, here's another question I have for you guys. If you guys weren't focusing on your music careers, what other careers would you guys be pursuing?
Asking for spare change.
Yeah.
Spare
Well,
I'm
change.
literally not good at anything else. So
Oh my god.
when we like didn't know if we were going to like continue doing the band or like go to college, I was supposed to go to school for pharmacy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I was going for like math and physics, so it's probably what I would be doing right now.
Yeah. Don't mention math to me because that's not one of my strong suits.
it was like the day we were like
Not
sitting
doing
down
that.
and just first talking about if we should pursue the band or go to college, and we were all like, okay, everybody take, let's sit on this for like a month. Let's really think about it. I was like, I'm not going to college. Like literally 5 seconds. I was
Wow.
like, okay, I'm not
doing it.
going.
Nothing wrong
Oh
with
my
that.
god. But no, yeah, like I said, don't bring math to me because the only math I'm good at is adding up sports scores. But that's pretty much it. Don't come to me for any algebra equations or whatever else. I'm no good at that.
And even with sports scores, you've struggled with. So like, how many times have we done Whalers games where you forgot how to add?
Too many to count. Too many.
I'm saying, like,
But by the way,
had-
what Neil's referring to is that we actually work with a local hockey team near us, and we announce the games, and we always poke fun that we're not the best at math skills, and there were actually one too many times where stupid me had a brain cramp and didn't add the score. So one too many occasions. And Neil, I don't know how you put up with it for 3 years you've been working with me for this team.
Well, I think this upcoming season will be my 3rd or 4th with you.
I
don't
think it's
remember.
4. Yeah, I think it's 4.
Honestly, don't remember what year it is at this point. I've lost. This quarantine has made me forget about what's going on outside my house. Like, I have no
Yeah.
I was like, I was driving like a couple days ago, and I remember like I was driving by a newer supermarket, and I was like, "Yo, when did this come up?" And my dad looks at me and goes, "That's been there for like 2 years." I go, "Oh, really?"
Like, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, very cool. Like, the hell do I know? The hell do I know?
It's like you're driving, but like, I don't remember this place being here. It's been here for so and odd years. Like, wait, what?
It's like, when did we get a police station? That's lit. Whoa, we have that now.
Oh my god. But anyway though, you guys actually have a new cover coming out later today, am I correct?
You are
Yeah,
correct.
you got it.
Hey, all right. And now are you guys doing a live stream before that or no?
We are,
Sure.
yes.
Beautiful. All right, because I know you guys weren't able to because you guys were in Arizona for a month, but it's really, really exciting. I'm pretty sure that everybody already knows what the cover is at this point because
we've been
it's
teasing this
pretty
one.
subtle at this point.
Oh yeah. We're ready for it. We're so
And-
ready.
And by the way, your hair pretty much matches it perfectly, Audra. And
Thank you.
it is absolutely beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
No worries. But with all that being said, unfortunately, our time is up. But first of all, guys, we seriously cannot thank you enough for coming on and talking to us, taking some time out of your day to do this. We really, really do appreciate it. And I'm sorry that you had to put up with Neil's shenanigans.
No, we had so much fun. Thank you guys for having us.
No, seriously, the pleasure was all ours. And hopefully, we really hope to have you back on again real soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you guys so much.
We need to do like some online like Mario Kart race.
Oh,
Yeah.
please!
I
But can we actually make that happen? Can we please?
We'll do it. We'll do it for sure.
But it has to be
that would
Mario
be
Kart 8
wonderful.
Deluxe because that's the ultimate Mario Kart.
I mean, we can do that Mario Kart if we're gonna lose. Like,
Oh, you gotta play Rainbow Road on 200 cc's. Like,
Oh hell no!
Sugarcoat it. You gotta play it on 200
That'll be
cc's.
so bad.
Neil, get out! I'm kidding.
No,
Anyway,
I do
though.
what I want. I do what I want.
But anyway, guys, again, we cannot thank you enough for doing this. It really does mean a lot. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to hopefully having you back on again real soon.
Yeah, thank you so
absolutely.
much.
No worries, guys. Anytime. First to 11. If you haven't heard of them yet, be sure to subscribe to them on YouTube and check them out on social media at First to 11. And that will wrap it up for us. If you want to leave any other questions that you have for us and for First to 11, let us know on Twitter. You can follow them at First to 11. You can follow me at Bottomline WMCX. You can also follow Neil at the NVP Show. And be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Leave a like and a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and be sure you subscribe to us in audio form as well on Apple, Google, and Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just make sure that you include my first name, Jimmy, when searching for this podcast. And the reason why I say that is because there are a million other podcasts named The Bottom Line. So my first name included is the only way you're going to find this particular one. Neil, what are you doing?
It was the funniest thing the first time I had to look up Bottom Line. I looked it up and there was like 300 results. I'm like, all right, Jimmy, is there anything else I could type in that will revolve around you? But
Oh my
I gotta, I've never said this before, but I'll say it now. You might have honestly one of the longest outros of any podcast in the history. I don't think I like.
Are you saying that's a bad thing?
No. Why are you assuming so much? You assume that I'm just being this awful person today.
What? No, I'm not gonna get. I'm not gonna get into that on camera. I'm just gonna leave it alone before I get crucified again.
Right, exactly. You don't want.
Anyway,
you don't want to catch these hands. So you don't want to catch these hands.
yeah, whatever. Anyway, that'll wrap it up for us. For Neil Villapiano and for First to 11, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace out.